Looks to come inside and fire one a goal and find the back of the net for Perth.
And the Azzurri have come back from 2 goals down to tie it up.
Cue the celebrations for the Azzurri.
Yeah, welcome to the Perth SC Podcast. Blaine Treadgold is my name, back for another episode 21 for 2025. All thanks to Lydia Fiore and the team at the Panorama Club, Perth's premier private members club and luxury workspace, and also Camera House in Leederville, your go-to destination for Leederville and the wider Perth creative community, providing expert advice and a comprehensive range of photography and video equipment. Coming to you again from the Perth San Siro. What a week it has been. We're still riding high on that magnificent league title win for our NPL women. That means we're going to catch up with Tom Glavovic this evening. I've been chasing him all season, and he's like, no, I'm not coming on. I don't want to jinx it. I'm not coming on. Right. We've managed to nail him down. We will be speaking to him in just a few minutes. Let's have a bit of a look at what's been happening around the club, and we'll have a look at some of the results from the weekend. Nominations for the Perth Soccer Club Awards are now open. We've mentioned this a few times. Don't forget that it's open nominations for Merit and Life Membership Awards to recognise outstanding and distinguished service to our wonderful football club. The Merit Award requires 5 years of service, not necessarily continuous, and Life Membership requires 15 years of service. Once again, not necessarily continuous. All nominations must be proposed by an ordinary member and seconded by another ordinary member. So if you want to recognise someone, get onto that. Get in touch with the board. Nominations are open until October the 1st, and all award recipients will be announced at this year's annual general meeting to happen. I think that is going to happen around October. Look out for details on that. I wonder if you got out to the Dorrien Gardens Redevelopment Members Information Forum earlier this week that was held at the WA Italian Club. There will be another opportunity if you want to get involved in that. It will be happening at the Perth Soccer Club Wednesday, 17th of September between 7 and 8. You can head over to the WA Italian Club prior, in fact, and get yourself something to eat and then wander over and take in a little bit of information. Plenty of talk and plenty of information coming out regarding the redevelopment of the Dorrien Gardens and WA Italian Club precinct, if you like. So that's something that you want to get a little bit more information about. There will be some votes that need to go down throughout the general membership as well, as I understand it. So it's well worth being informed. Get along to that Wednesday, the 17th of September. Don't forget, if you you might be keen on maybe a drop or two of wine every now and then, all thanks to our wonderful friends down there at Borello Vineyards. Each 6-pack sold raises money for our club to reinvest in our football programs. If you want to get yourself a nice drop, head over to the website. That's Borello Vineyards. Use the code Perth Soccer Club, all one word, all lowercase, at checkout, and you'll receive the club discounts. And some wonderful wines coming out through Borello at the moment. A big congratulations to Tony and Anna. They were the lucky purchasers of our fantastic home out there at Vivish, all thanks to Trio Homes and, of course, the rest of the Perth Soccer Club community and valuable sponsors. Of course, you would have walked into Dorrien Gardens and seen that absolutely fantastic sponsorship wall. Big thanks to Alex at Charles Alexander Real Estate for his work in making sure that property got sold. So some wonderful contributions going back into the football club, and a big thanks to everyone involved in that. We might be entering the twilight of the season, but it does mean we've got our senior awards night not too far away. That's going to be happening on Saturday, the 4th of October. There'll be a 2-course sit-down meal. Players, coaches and officials are encouraged to bring their partners. Cost is at $60 per head, and full drinks and bar service is is available. Looking forward to being another fantastic night. I'll be down there once again on the microphone, so hopefully we have a pretty good fun time, of course, celebrating all the wonderful, not only team achievements throughout the year, but of course individual achievements as well. It is our night of nights, so make sure you get along to that on Saturday, the 4th of October. For our juniors, our wind-up and trophy presentations for our juniors, under 5s to under 12s mini-roos, will be at 11:30am on Sunday the 21st of September down here at Dorrien Gardens, while our under 13s to under 16 JDLs, that'll be happening at 3pm on Sunday the 28th of September down here at Dorrien Gardens as well. So hit up your team coaches and your team coordinators, and I'm sure they'll be able to give you a little bit more information on that. Right, that's all the administration side of things done. Let's have a bit of a look at what happened on the weekend. Unfortunate. A 2-0 result for our senior men on the weekend. They did go down to Olympic Kingsway, of course, last year's league champions, in our final home match, in fact, down here at Dorrien Gardens last Saturday afternoon. And, we were pretty good in that first half. Just lacked a little bit going forward, didn't we? Matthias Zanuski was brilliant once again in goals, denying shots from Tyler Garner, Joe Hobson, Will Richards was in there as well, and he pulled off just some stunning saves, and he's been a hell of an addition to this side this year. So a big congrats once again to Matthias Zanuski on his individual performance. But it was, however, Joe Hobson who managed to... No, it wasn't. It wasn't Joe Hobson at all. It was Tyler Garner who managed to get that first goal. Decent finish it was in the end, and then Liam Boland, bit of a man of the moment, or man of the last month at least. He managed just to put the sealer on that one to see Olympic take that one 2-0. So that's the way that we finish up our home form for this year for our senior men. Just taking a bit of a look around the grounds and what that does mean, and I think it's only probably right that we congratulate Bayswater City on their league title after drawing with Stirling throughout the week. Elsewhere, the top 4 cup is set with Bayswater, Olympic, Glory and Red Star. Down towards the other end of the table, with Floriat already automatically relegated, the story will be who's going to enter that dramatic playoff for survival with Fremantle City currently in the hot seat. However, they are only 1 point behind Balcatta now that Sorrento has secured their safety. So little bit going on, not so much the top end, but certainly the bottom end. And don't we just love this time of year and the drama that it provides, as long as it's not Perth involved, of course. But it is football, and it is what we love about it. It was another important result for our Azzurri girls as they went head-to-head again with Balcatta on the weekend. The result, a 1-1 draw with one game remaining in the regular season. Of course, the title already wrapped up. Tom Glavovic went into this one he didn't make any changes, in fact, from his starting lineup that took out the league title just 3 days prior. So it's been a really heavy schedule for our NPL women's side. 2 goals came in 5 minutes, in fact, throughout the second half. Kim McCartney, how good was that free kick on the weekend to put the hosts ahead? Only for Balcatta, Jamie Duncanson and Abby Meekins teamed up for the visitors' equaliser, and opportunities from there were just a bit few and far between, as I think heavy legs just started to take its toll following a pretty heavy schedule for both of these sides and plenty of make-up games and everything else. So it was a 1-1 result, and Perth just have that one final regular season game to come this weekend at home to the Football West Academy. That is happening on Sunday. And make sure you get down here because they're going to be presented with the NPLWA Championship Trophy before it's turning their attention to the top 4 cup campaign. So very much looking forward to this weekend, and wouldn't it be fantastic to finish off on a high as they take on the Football West Academy. Other results across the weekend for our 23s men, a 2-1 loss to Olympic. Jamie Bilolowski had he had a bit of an up and down afternoon, scored very early, only to a little bit later on received 2 yellow cards in around 3 minutes to end his afternoon. and an unfortunate 2-1 result for our 23s men. For our 18s, though, it was polar opposites, 3-0. Harry Surtees again with a brace. Mentioned his name just about every week, I think. Andrew Tuff came off the bench to nab the sealer in that one for the 18s. And finally, for our women's 21s, a big 2-0 win. Goals to Grace Fraser and Alyssa Klomp, another name who I mention quite considerably on this podcast. So big congratulations to the goal scorers there. Right, there's all the news from our senior sides. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll be back on the other side of this. Tom Glavovic to join us. Welcome back to the Perth SC Podcast. It's an absolute delight to welcome this next man. Tommy Glavovic is with us. Now it's a very successful Tom Glavovic, league title winner. How does that sound, Tommy?
Amazing, mate.
Yeah.
It does feel very good, yeah. Thank you.
Mate, I've been chasing you all season to try and get you on this bloody podcast, and you said to me, not until we win the thing. You just said, I don't want to jinx anything, but now it's over the line, mate. We've got you here.
Yeah, mate. Look, it's been amazing season for the group, for the team. As you know, we started in November, so it sounds forever. It's been very good. The team itself, obviously, we brought the new players in. Considering obviously we had the players going to Glory, and some players obviously moved east and stuff like that. So we had to obviously fill up the numbers and gaps. Bringing the new players in, more importantly, bringing the right people in. You know, it's not only about football, it's about the culture and all the other stuff. So that was one of the biggest things where we obviously want to make sure we bring the right people to the group so it can more accommodate, I guess, and complement the pre-existing group. That was the one biggest of my personal targets, because I always knew that playing-wise, that won't be never the issue. All these players are unbelievably talented. It was just mainly to get them to have that incredible cohesion, I guess, in that team environment was very important for me and for entire coaching staff. And when I originally spoke to all of them, this is one thing I said, this is absolute must. We want to build that culture in the club. We want to advertise ourselves as obviously a developing club. Well, we are. When you look at it, the team actually won this year. The title is actually under 20 years old, average age, obviously, and it's youngest NPLWA team in Australia ever to win the title. So it's incredible achievement for the group in regards of that. But mate, it happened so much during the season. I mean, we can talk here for hours and hours. It was really, really long, sounds like forever season, but it was also, as I said to you before, we actually had a set up and plan how we want to and what we wanted to do it. Obviously, pre-existing players have been absolutely awesome, welcoming. That was very, very good and supportive. What was very important of the ideas what we're trying to do. I had a one-on-one meetings with all the players before we actually started this journey. And I explained it. In one-on-one, in particular, what we're looking for, what I'm looking for, what we actually wanted to achieve. And I have to say, big thank you, obviously, not only to the entire team, but also to the existing group, what actually, welcomed all that, and also welcomed all the players what we actually brought it in a team, because that was actually one of the key, and a team, honestly, the group's response was just overwhelming, at least to say, so. I was talking to somebody actually a couple of days ago about it, and they deserve everything what came their way. The team worked enormously hard. We train, as 3-4 times a week, plus the games on a weekend, So it's been a lot of sacrifice from everybody. I'm talking here from everybody, not only from the player point of view, from also entire coaching team. I can't thank enough, obviously, to the Lucy, strength and conditioning coach, Fernando, obviously, my assistant. He obviously had to leave, obviously, halfway through the season because of some personal stuff. Fed, obviously, on a weekend always used to come down to the game day, helping. I mean, all these little things, did make it a lot of difference, in regards of our performance and what we're trying to achieve. So every single person had something to do with this achievement. I guess it's a great achievement.
I want to take you back to February, March. and that loss in the night series to Balcatta, it felt like that one stung a little bit. Even just the players that I've spoke to, how much of a driver was that this is what it feels to be on the receiving end? Let's not be on the receiving end.
Look, for me personally, I actually didn't. For me, that game, how I said it. Look, night series itself, it's a great tournament, but it's only preseason tournament,
Sure.
and as you saw it, we rotate all our players.
Yep.
So we treat it as a preseason. We treat it as a getting ourselves better. Obviously, as I said to you, when I joined here, I knew of these players, but I never worked with these players. So this was one thing where I was using it, to get to know these players, understand better their strengths and weaknesses. And that game itself in particular, to me, look, they won and well done to them. As I said to them after the game, congratulations. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's a cookie crumbles, I guess. So good on them. They won the night series. It's fine. But I didn't feel like they beat us. The goal would happen. It was accidental own goal. So,
Yep.
that's how. So I didn't actually feel, what's the right word to use it? I didn't actually feel, disappointed. Yes, because you always wanted to win. But I knew it when a season, if that's what they have and that's one of the best performances, as they called it, then I knew it will be fine. I was feeling confident that will be absolutely fine, in regards of the season, because let's not forget, you got Red Star, they're absolute champions. They've been, last 4 years, I believe, if I'm correct.
Yep.
They've been absolutely the benchmark, and they are let's just don't take this out of the content what I'm trying to say, but they are, for me personally, by far still one of the best teams in the league. There's no doubts about it. They're absolutely awesome side. Then obviously you have Balcatta. Obviously they have a lot of players, amazing good players in there. And then everything else, in this, the good thing with the night series, you actually get to see or play against each other, so you get actually to feel, where you're at, and what's actually happening. But honestly, as I said, the group self, and I mentioned before, and I sound like I'm repeating, but it was the actually belief and a vision what I wanted to bring it in regards to how I want us to play.
Sure.
And that actually, it's a full credit, and we can talk as much about, but full credit to the team, how they actually executed that, the vision, it's always the hardest, to put it on your head and give it to your players, how you want it to play and what do you want them to do. That was always hard. Team done a great job. So when it comes to that game, for me, it was more like as I said, the preseason, and again, I don't want to say anything away or take anything away from them. They won it.
Yeah.
But for us, was a still preseason game, still exactly how we wanted to do it. And so I know the players were a little bit more disappointed. What's normal, because you get to feel that, and I think it hurts even more. This maybe sounds now arrogant, maybe, but hurts even more the players. They knew they could do it better. And that's one thing. And I knew it that they knew it. So there's no point me talking about it, because I knew it, they knew it. And we just said after the game, this is so good learning point for us, and we'll be fine. So, yeah.
When I spoke to Fernando earlier this year, one thing that I remember him saying was when you guys joined the club, there was a shift in mentality. Obviously, coming across from the NTC where 100% focus is on the development of these players, whereas now you're at Perth Soccer Club, they expect trophies. Yeah. How hard was that to, I guess, shift that mindset for yourself?
Yeah, it was pretty. Look, we actually didn't go away completely from development, and I'm strongly believing that. I believe in a players' development. I think the club's only way they will be able to be successful over years to come is to keep bringing the new players in, keep developing it, and have that like players, what I call it, coming from the younger generation, underage, bringing them through it and keep introducing them to our systems and things. So. But nevertheless, being a part of Perth Soccer Club obviously is the most successful club in a state. I guess it's one of the biggest. So that pressure point, to win, obviously comes with a job. I guess I was, as you can see, I keep saying it. Yuko is so calm. I knew it what's at stake. At any given time, but at the same time, I never put that pressure on our players because ultimately. My philosophy, you play good football, the results will follow. It's a key actually to get that, the group to understand how we want to play it, what we want to do it. And once they see it, it's works and we can be successful that way, then, like everyone buys it in and, everyone did the, like shift and work, I guess, in it. So yes, pressure, yes, 100%. Player-wise, we never put any pressure on them. I can tell you that right now. But I didn't think it was for me personally. I wasn't nothing what I didn't expect. Let's just say that, at least that. Yeah.
So this was a side that you thought could go all the way at the start of the season.
I actually after the night series, the tournament, obviously, once I saw all the teams and everything else, I actually thought we'll be definitely. I had no doubts we'll be in the top 4.
Sure.
I had no doubts we'll be in the top 4. It was just a matter of where we're going to finish. There was. Look, as I said to you, for me, again, there's other teams out there that is super strong. Especially on a paper, if you look at it, like individually.
Yeah.
Now they're just incredible lineups. But that's football. And I have to compliment my players. I said, look, we won the championship, so I got to highly of them regardless, because they did a great job. But this young group, went out there and they virtually outrun them, outpassed them, outperformed them in all areas. That was virtually it. Like they just simply worked harder. They wanted it more. And again, people probably will judge comments, whatever, but they deserve to win. They actually absolutely deserve. They had the best attack, best defense, in a league by miles. So yeah,
well, I've got the numbers here: 16 wins, 3 draws, just the 1 loss. 60 goals scored, only 12 conceded. So, I mean, hitting that magic 50 mark as well, and still with room to play with going into this weekend. I mean, the season couldn't have gone any better, surely.
Yeah, look, you always. I know. Again, you said it that way, but. There's actually a couple of games in there. We should have done it better.
Sure,
100%. I know it sounds a little bit, like optimistic from my end, but I know the players know that I know that we should have done it better in some of the games. There was a couple of draws there. We actually had a couple of draws, and we certainly had draws in that games. In that game, sorry, the girls are just yeah, no problem. Sorry to interrupt. But the girls, I think, felt exactly the same as I did. I don't mind losing game. Let's just put it straight out there. If a team plays better than us and beat us, no problem. Absolutely no issues with it. I'm a realist. Yeah, you can't win everything.
Are you referring to the Fremantle and the Subiaco games?
Yes. Yep. So when you look at it statistically, the games, now stats don't win the games. Let's just put it that way. But when you look at it statistically, both of these games, we dominated everything from a point of view, from ball possession point of view, from shots, or shots on target, corners, you name it, any single area. So I couldn't actually explain to myself, and it was really hard to, because when we do the analysis, it was really hard to explain that, how we actually didn't win that game. That was so hard.
Yeah.
Again, the game, one loss what we had, but we played good game. The other team, which had one individual doing an absolutely brilliant move.
Yeah.
Scored top-notch goal. No issues with that. Went home. I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
I wasn't even angry or disappointed because again we played good game, and it took something different to score, and that's what it took. And I had no problem with that. We actually went home. It was absolutely fine. I knew it. The good thing about that game is I actually personally also learned quite a bit something about their tactical adjustments, so that was actually a big tick for me personally, because I got something out of that, more than just winning the game. What obviously proven down in the season, that obviously we played them a couple of times, as you know, and we won a league, obviously, or championship at their ground, and that game we absolutely dominated. There was no virtually question on that night, on Wednesday night when we played a few weeks ago and we won. There was virtually not even question who's going to win the game. It was really us. We dominated that, and we deserved to win that game. And again, I always say the same thing. If it was the other way around, I wouldn't be upset that this is the way it is.
Tommy, I wanted to talk about your journey in a way. It is quite unique, your career. Former player in the old Yugoslavia, partisan, before moving over to Germany, I believe, mate. How did some of that time shape you as, I guess, a man and a coach these days?
So, I had a privilege actually to work obviously I was born in a former Yugoslavia.
Sure.
And that was before the war obviously started and all that stuff on. So, and always proud to say that because, growing in that era, we was actually, everyone was happy and fine. But then obviously war started it. But prior to the war, actually was, my career started in a local town when I was a young kid, Jedinstvo. And then from there, I actually got invited to the Belgrade, to the academy. And there's a sub from Partizan Belgrade. There's actually a sub academy. Back in old days, used to be part of the Rad Belgrade. It's also a big club.
Sure.
So I got invited to go there as a very young age, in the juniors, junior program. And I spent there a couple of years. And then the coach was looking for certain style of the player. Lucky enough, I was on my best that day when they came down to watch, and he actually picked me up. So it was a little bit luck there too, because the person actually supposed to actually play that role what I was playing, he actually was sick. So I actually ended up actually jumping the role, performed superbly, and got first gig with Partizan, and that was again taken to another level because obviously it's a full on. You're getting a better coaches, better everything. Let's just say it that way. Nothing to take from the other ones, but this was just another level. Being in a top academy in a country or one of the top academies, playing in the top divisions. So that actually, I think the coaches found out how to bring even more out of me. What I wasn't even capable. Didn't actually know I'm capable of that stuff. So from there on, I actually, as a war obviously now start progressing to the countries, everything was sort of given some kind of uncertainty, let's say, at least to call it. Was funny times, not pretty. War is never pretty, obviously. So from that point of view, my family obviously was living obviously in Austria and Germany. My parents were in Germany, so my dad said, "Nah, you're coming." It's not negotiable. You gotta move. So there was a little bit mess. Let's just say that way, because a lot of stuff was happening. So anyway, I went to Germany. Didn't know what to expect and what to do. To at least say that, I didn't know. The last thing on my mind was football. Because it was a little bit difficult, that part of it. And there was a lot of happening back in a former country. So I actually a little bit, I wouldn't say struggled, but was still young, a little bit scared at least, to say different country, different language, all kind of stuff. Still we had a home obviously there. My family was there for years. But the reality is when I got there, I didn't actually know what will happen. And I started focusing more on school. So, because obviously now my school side was broken down a little bit, so I was like, well, what do I do now? So anyway, I start going to school, and then the local kids invited me to go to the park and play a little bit of football. So we did, and went there. And then one of the days like that, after school, one of the guys came over and said to me, "Hey, Matt, what's your name?" Start talking, half broken language wise, because as I said, German wasn't my first language. So anyway, somehow we communicated. I understood what he meant, and got invited to go to one of the top teams in a area. They invited me down, if you want to call it, to the trials.
Sure.
So I went to the trials, and I literally, after the first I think 3 weeks, I was going back and forth. In the meantime, that coach moved me from multiple positions around. I actually genuinely thought, there's not enough, I wasn't, as I said, I wasn't even prepared myself, I was fit, reasonably fit, obviously, being a young lad and all that stuff on. But I thought, even my parents when came, my dad said, "I think it's good," and I was like, I didn't feel like that, Anyway, so I thanked them, the trials will finish, and then probably about, I didn't hear anything from about a month, of that. I thought, whatever, I didn't, as I said, I was still young, I was still half confused what's actually happening around me, So anyway, I went home, and we were home, and one day just the car rocks up, and this guy comes out looking for myself. I don't know him, he doesn't know me. So I said, yeah, no worry, that will be me. He goes, it's your family, it's your parents' day. I said, yeah. So got my parents out, and he was a club representative, like offering us contract. And that's
what grade will
that
we
was
talking here?
That was the third. So you got obviously Bundesliga.
Yeah.
You got a Zweite division or second division, and then you have a next era.
Third div, yep.
Yeah. So third div, quite good, And the exciting part was now when I reflect, we're getting paid, but the money wasn't, But in my books there was so much money, but it wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't because I didn't have no money. I was coming from the area, everything, we lost everything in a war, so it was literally restarting yourself. So the amount of money when I came through it, I couldn't believe it. So so it took me now to the next level. I played very well actually. Over that period of that season, believe it or not, I didn't play 1 minute. No, I did not step a foot 1 minute on entire park.
Wow.
I was on a bench every single week, every single game, and I was questioning everything, like everything. Am I good enough? Am I not good enough? What I'm doing wrong? This, that, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think halfway to the season, whatever it was, I was sitting at home, and my dad goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm on a bench again." And he goes, "Do you know why?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he goes, "That's your exact problem. You don't even know why on a bench." And he questioning it. Find out why on a bench. And he goes, "Go out there and fix it."
Yeah.
So anyway, I did. I spoken to my coach, and this thing, and he sort of explained to me, because I was super young. I was very young age there. I was by far the youngest in a team. And he just said, "I need this and that, whatever, to work on it." So I did. I need to build up my strengths. So I did. I kept working. So nevertheless, season finishes. I never virtually didn't step 1 minute in a park. It really bugged me, but then I made a decision off season. We used to get it 9 weeks off. So out of 9 weeks, you have to do community stuff, for 3 weeks, and then the rest was yours, the 6 weeks. And people would go, especially the older players, they'll go on holidays or away with the family or whatever. So I decided to stay. I stayed, and I trained. And I trained, and I trained, and I trained, and I trained, and I trained. And I have to say, I prepared myself enormously. Like the level of my fitness just went to the roof. I was obviously still growing, so I grew in that period, built up more speed. I built up definitely strength. I was working with the ball at least twice a day, every day, tactically. Back then, there was no luxury of this now, video analysis and all that stuff. Was everything in old tapes. So I would rewind the tape, watch it. I would record the games on a tape, then rewind the tapes and rewatch it, in a position that people are playing myself, Normally, so it was like eventually write it down, to go and then go out there, and try to understand more. Anyway, so it was hard yakka, but then the following season, I actually, so we came back, and obviously as the preseason progresses, they do testings and everything else stuff. And in the first of the runs, while we were doing it, I finished I think it was 30 or 40 seconds, pretty much in front of one of the fittest guys we had there.
Yeah, wow.
So when the guy clicked it on it, he looked at me, he goes, "Tommy," he goes, "Did you run all the way?" I said, "Yeah." Wow. He just said it to me, and I was like, "Oh, must be good."
Yeah.
Anyway, then the next guy arrived about 30 or 40 seconds later, and then the rest started coming in. And then I realized I finished first by miles because I just kept pushing. And then as the season progressed, or preseason progressed, I realized that I'm miles ahead of everybody else. And I think the coaches also realized that part of it. And then when the preseason started, and that was a kicker. So preseason started, the lineups were called out. And guess what? I was on a bench again. And I was like, what do I have to do? Anyway, so I just sat on a bench. I thought, mate, here you go, again. I thought, mate, it was literally crushing me inside. I didn't play that game. That first friendly game, I didn't play. Again, back on the park, reset myself, keep going, keep pushing. The next week, I'm on a bench again. However, at the halftime, the halftime whistle went off.
Yeah.
One of our assistant coaches grabbed me. I was walking inside. He goes, no, stay here, sit down. So I sat down and he opened his little bookcase. He goes, look, you'll be going in. You'll be going inside this position. I need you to understand this. So I looked at it. I felt sick. So I've been all season for the last year and a half preparing for this moment. Yeah. And now I actually felt sick. And when I say sick, I actually vomited.
Oh, no.
I actually felt sick. I was so nervous. I went inside there and I couldn't hear anything. The pressure was just enormous. I can't even explain it in words. Again, the first 5-10 minutes, I couldn't recognize myself because nothing worked. I was just, too nervous.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember ball went out for a corner and my coach called me, come over here. So I came over on the side and he said to me, look, mate, you've been waiting on a bench for 18 months. Now's your moment.
Yeah.
Just go and do it. Don't worry about it. He goes, miss whatever you want to do whatever you want to do. I don't care. I just want to see you playing. You are capable of playing and stuff what you do on training. I want to see out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went out there and I was going inside and then he called me again. I was, oh my God, what's now? He goes, no, I want you to take the corner. So anyway, okay, no worries. I was normally doing in the trainings anyway. So I put the ball down, set up a ball for the corner and the wind actually was blowing in direction obviously of the goal.
Yeah.
So I put the ball down. We had this certain routine with the corners. So the ball was supposed to be landing roughly around just outside penalty area, probably about 4 or 5 meters towards the outside.
Sure.
I hit it. I thought I hit it great. Ball lifted a little bit up in the air, went a little bit higher. And then next moment, the ball was in a goal. So the ball went up, the wind took it and just took it in a second post scored.
Olympico.
Because I scored, mate. I couldn't stop screaming. And then from there onwards, honestly, it was just only upwards. Yeah. So, yeah.
You're well known around the traps as a referee as well. Do you see the game differently these days after obviously playing, refereeing, and now obviously coaching?
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely benefits. It's obviously as a obviously player and referee because you definitely see the game from different perspective. So in a game, when you're a player, you only see it as a player. Okay. The advantage, I think, of the referee side of it, the referee sees the side not only at the playing point, but also on a tactical. But the beauty of this is not only from one point of sight, you see both teams how they play differently. So you can learn quite a bit from that point of view. It's very, very beneficial. I can tell you that right now.
Just a couple more, Tommy. You've been very generous with your time. Now that we've wrapped up the league, how do you ensure focus? Obviously, there's another trophy to be won, the Top 4 Cup.
Yeah, so this trophy now coming up, obviously. So first of all, focus is fully now on Sunday, obviously. So we are, fully focusing now on a Sunday game. Girls are working hard, training hard, and nothing changes in that aspect. Then once the season is over and everything is done, then obviously everything shifts. And now, and we just gotta take one game at a time. It's really we did everything what we could. And I'm sure we will still produce everything what we can, and we'll do our best, to keep progressing and keep pushing every single game. But mainly just staying in the moment, worry about the current, situation, worry about game, what you gotta play. I don't like to think too far ahead. We are aware of it. We'll talk about it. We know obviously you gotta talk about it. You gotta be aware of it. What's actually ahead, and you can plan a little bit, I guess. But in regards of what's going to happen? It's going to happen. That's football.
And obviously, it's been a pretty demanding year, mate. You must be looking forward to maybe spending some time with the family,
yes,
your wife and
absolutely.
And family as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, coaching roles obviously are at least to call it unthankful roles. That's one of the roles. It's a lot of sacrifices made, like the coaching, to example, when you coach 2-3 times a week or whatever there might be that's literally a 5 days job plus weekend because you got to plan the session, you got to analyze your opponents, this, that, so it's a lot of work involved. So I'm lucky enough. I got an amazing family. My wife is incredible. She's been supporting me all the way through it. This is my passion. I love it. can't thank enough.
And finally, Tommy, just a bit of a message for all the wonderful support that you get week in, week out, mums, dads, partners, everything else that come along and support you and the girls.
Mate, I know that I speak from everybody, really appreciate that. It's enormously important for the team, for the group and for the club. This title is not only for the team, but it's also for everybody else. As I said to you, this is the title or championship itself. It wasn't just one player performance, or like we had this was a virtually entire team performance. And when I say team, I mean from the player point of view, from the coach's point of view, from every single mom, dad, as you said, the drive out there and, like support out there, like week in, week out. From the club point of view, we can't thank them enough, obviously, to helping us, what we needed to do behind the scenes. Obviously, you got a Glenn, John, Gary, obviously on our women's side board, what I call it, Jason, president, always been accommodating. I mean, I don't want to miss anybody, but everyone has been really, really helpful and supportive because it is an important thing to the club. As Jason said the other day, and when we were there, and he said this is the first time ever the title for the women team.
Yeah.
In I think 70 years or whatever.
77 years.
Yeah, 70 years. So it's a historic one,
Absolutely.
and without all this support behind the scene, this won't be possible. It's, as I said, it's much more involved to be successful and to be a champion, to win the championship. There's a lot of work from everybody behind the scenes. So big thank you to everybody. We do appreciate it. So can't thank enough. There's no really words to explain it.
Yeah.
But the trophy and everything else, this actually is representation for all of us. And as I said, thanks for everybody to support. While I got you here, also I want to say a big thank you to under 21s, under 18s. They've been there all the way through it. Coaching staff, entire coaching team for 21s and 18s. If you ever needed something, being a quick friendly game or, borrowing a players, doing whatever needs, that doesn't go unrecognized. So big thank you also to them. But as I said, big thank you to my team, for believing, pushing me. But thank you to everyone. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Tommy, well, everyone, make sure you get down this Sunday, 3 p.m. As Perth Soccer Club takes on the Football West Academy. It will be the day that the trophy gets presented as well. And Tommy, thanks very much for your time, mate. All the best in the Top 4 Cup.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Big thanks to Tom Glavovic, who joined us just before that break. And what an interesting conversation that was. I hope you enjoyed that and got plenty out of it. And certainly wishing Tom and the girls all the best for the Top 4 Cup as we get closer to that. Firstly, though, we do have a matter of the final rounds to come this weekend. And our senior men are in action Saturday. They'll kick off at 3 p.m. away to Bayswater, the league champions, and hoping maybe Bayswater's just taken a little bit off the gas, and maybe we finish the season with a nice little win down there at Frank Draco. Don't forget 23s at 1 p.m. and our 18s men at 11 as well. Don't forget also on the Saturday, big good luck to Amir Zamastagic and the 14s boys who are in the Junior Cup action. Now, that is all happening very early on Saturday morning. I believe that's an 8 a.m. kickoff down there at the Sam Kerr Football Centre. For all you early birds, get down there, support the boys. Certainly wishing them all the best. And on the Sunday, what a magnificent day that will be. It'd be even better if we can finish the season with a big win for the Azzurri girls. And don't forget, it will also include the trophy presentation as league champions of the NPLWA for 2025. How good does that sound? Right, just about set to wrap things up, not only for this episode, but for the season. this is done and won for another year, the Perth SC Podcast. A big thanks, as always, to Lydia Fiore and the team down there at the Panorama Club and also Camera House in Leederville. We certainly appreciate their ongoing support. A big thank you to Jason Marocchi and the board for trusting me to put this whole thing together. And for you, all the listeners, I hope you've got plenty out of it. And we're certainly looking to be bigger and better as we keep building the Perth SC Podcast and keep spreading the word about the mighty Azzurri across the digital realm, shall we say. So good luck to everyone in action this weekend. And once again, come on, the Azzurri.